Welcome to Father's House. My name's Michael Fryer, and visiting us today is John Harrold, all the way from Newport in South Wales. John, welcome to Father's House.
Right, thank you.
A long journey?
No, not bad. On the train.
Good, good. And I know you're used to travelling anyway,
Yeah.
John, because you used to be a lorry driver, and you travelled and worked in the Ukraine for the Lord and pursued a ministry amongst the Jewish people there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm the local representative in South Wales for Ebenezer Operation
Right.
Exodus, and our ministry is to help the Jewish people by reminding them of their biblical roots and helping them to be able to go to the Israeli embassies and consulates with their papers to get them checked to see if they're available and able to go home back to Israel. And I spent 2 periods of 3 months out there, 2007, 2008, with a team of people going around the villages looking for the Jewish people.
Right. Quite interesting work.
Yeah.
And I know Ebenezer do work all over the world, don't they? And but you particularly went to the Ukraine.
Yeah.
You told me earlier that you'd met Holocaust survivors in the Ukraine. Tell me about that.
On almost the very last day of my first trip, we actually went to a house of a Holocaust survivor, and he showed us the number. It was tattooed on the back of his arm. It's the first time I'd ever seen that, and I always remember it was 12/24/36, and it's still there on his arm. And that guy was up in his 90s then.
Okay. And what sort of lifestyle are they living in?
Most of them were out in the villages, and once you get out of the big cities in Ukraine, they're very poor. It's like going back to what Great Britain was 70 years ago.
Right.
And you'll always know in the village if they got a gas supply, because their pipes are above ground on stanchions. But a lot of the places we went to, the water supplies were actually just being put in.
Okay.
It was wells in the garden, and the toilets were a hole in the ground in a shed in the garden.
Okay, so a really poor quality of life.
Very poor quality of life.
And that quality of life is what focused your mind on how to help them, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I can always remember on the first trip we went to one family, and through our interpreter, the team leader and all of us were talking to a gentleman in his garden. And his wife came out, and she was hobbling on 2 walking sticks. And as the conversation went on, we found out that the only money she had was a disability benefit. The guy looked about 80. He was only 55. He was younger than me. And the only other support they had was from a son who came once a month, usually with a basket of food or some money for them to survive.
Okay.
And I've never forgotten that, because my friend that was with me, we looked at each other. I don't know how much we gave them, but being volunteers, we could spend our money as we liked. And we just gave them a wad of money to help them.
Right, bless you.
And then on the second trip I did, another friend came with me, and we went to a place called Hesed in the state of Kherson. Now, Hesed is a Jewish organisation helping Jewish people in the community. And the leader there, through the interpreter, told us that there was a lady way out in the woods somewhere, wanted coal for the winter, £240 a tonne.
Wow.
That was 4 years ago, and logs were the same price.
Right.
So my friend and I, we paid for half a tonne of coal for it.
Okay. But now that sort of love for the Jewish people and love for Israel has led you into helping Holocaust survivors in Israel itself now. So tell me, John, what sort of work you do and how you do that.
Well, I've been to Israel at least 14 times at the moment, going again, God willing, later this year. But in 2010, I had an email from the Jewish Institute of Justice that looks after a lot of Holocaust and ghetto victims, and they were saying about some of the work they did with them, and I emailed them and said, now, what is the greatest need that you have? And they said to me in reply, vitamins. as you can see on the table, these sort of things.
I thought you maybe were a drug dealer. I was on the drug squad, and when I saw you coming in with these, I got a bit concerned. But
no, they're actually genuine, bought over the shop counter. I found out since that paracetamol's like that, 18 to 20 pence in the UK. I don't know the exact price in Israel, but I know from a Jewish source that they are very expensive.
Okay.
So in 2010, I put a load of stuff by and I stuffed my suitcase full, and we went back out in October, met our Christian contact out there and gave them the first load. Then we sent some more at the end of the year, and then we took another load in October 2011 in my suitcase, no problem with the customs or anything. Then we came up to April in 2012, end of the month, I had an email to say, we've run out.
Okay. And this is an email from this Jewish organisation who look after how many Holocaust survivors and ghetto survivors do they care for?
They know that there's 200,000 at least in Israel at the moment.
And are they all in need of such things as these vitamins?
About half of them are. Okay. That's about 100,000.
Why would they need vitamins?
Because when they came out of the camps in 1945, most of them were absorbed into Eastern Europe when the communists took over Poland and Lithuania, Estonia and all those places. And having seen a little bit of the health services out there, unless you bribe the doctors, you don't get the treatment.
Okay.
And it's and when they live out in the villages, miles and miles away from a doctor, they can't get there.
But in Israel, the Jewish community or surviving community of the Holocaust, are you saying that they are in need of vitamins?
Yes.
Because of?
Well, two things that the Israeli budgets, the biggest one is defence, the next one is education, and then everything else comes out of the rest of it.
Okay.
So if you read the newspapers, you'll see how much they have to defend themselves, and most of it goes on defence in the country. So there's not a lot of money left over, even though quite a few of them do get money from France, Holland and Germany as reparation for the wartime, but it's not enough.
Okay. Now, you're sending vitamins from the UK by post, and you're also taking some to this organisation in Israel in order that they can supplement the diets by using these vitamins. So how can we help, John?
Well, people can get in touch with me. My email address will be on the screen later, and they can send me a donation. If you contact me on this email, I'll send you my address. You can send me a donation, or you can buy these different things in the supermarket and put them in the post to me, and I will send them on direct to Israel myself, or take them, whichever.
Okay, that's great. Well, what a great ministry, John, and I want to thank you for coming to talk to us about this ministry. And I know you guys out there will want to help and be involved in this. So if you can help John get vitamins to the Holocaust survivors in Israel, they're much needed there. They're cheaper here than they are in Israel, and you can be a part of helping the Jewish people, and particularly Holocaust survivors, by contacting John through the email address on the screen and helping him. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for coming, John. It was a real blessing having you here. Thank you.